as you can see there. And it's a very slow process when it's a full grid, 55 cars.
It almost goes back up to the bridge. That's how far this field goes back. And of course, they've got a second set of lights underneath the bridge on the main straight for the cars that can't even see the main set of lights, which are down on.
So they're looking at the lights around the corner, essentially.
I think there's there might be another indication on Flaggy's Point on the outside of Maguire's corner as they come into it, just so that, yeah, around about where that is.
I love this shot here. We've got a Merc, a Yaris and an Audi and a Suzuki all next to each other. That just goes to show how awesome this category is.
If you're starting back there, you wouldn't want to get a cramp in your neck, that's for sure. That'd worry you right at the critical point.
I'm just wondering if Chris Brown is out there. He'd be right at the back of the field in a Toyota Corolla. Unfortunately, ended up in the kitty litter down at the Chase.
Yeah, he's right at the back in the Toyota 86. So let's have a look at how they're going to line up. And
lights are out.
Lights are out. Off we go. Ray Hislop. No surprises. Oh, Matt Cherry and Lee Forrest actually tagged off the line. Ray Hislop and then Michael Nagib and Matt Cherry as they go around Hell Corner for the first time. That's a shame for Lee Forrest because he was looking speedy straight off the line.
We got squeezed, I think.
Yeah, very much so.
Nowhere to go and got squeezed in between a big British Monaro and something else. Might have been that little, might have been the Bob Brewer car. Actually, Brewer actually passes Nagib as they go up towards turn 2, but I suspect he'll get back there.
This, oh, goodness me, you had to hold your breath there as Barry Linton looked down the inside. He tried to pin the needle through the little hole down the inside there, but thankfully pulled out of it. But that was a hold your breath moment because you didn't want a case of going into the tyre wall there at Griffiths Bend. There's a few of the spectators there on the side giving a little bit of a fist pump as they go through.
Yeah, and keep an eye on that yellow Celica. It loves lifting wheels out of this part of the track. Did it all last year. And of course, that second race last year is a brilliant one between he and Cherry, and 0.06 of a second at the end.
And there's been a heck of a shuffle off the start line because Carl Logan Moore's gone backwards, and Matt Cherry is certainly trying to push it coming over McPhillamy Park towards Skyline.
He doesn't want to let Ray Hislop run away to another 33.7 second win.
It was almost
trying very hard to stay with him across the top of the mountain.
It was almost a case of the Canadian flick as he came across the top of the mountain, then in the 144. So let's the 44, I should say, Matt Cherry, as they come down into Forest Elbow. You can hear a few cars locking up the inside left front as they get down the inside here. Once again, some moves being made, and Barry Linton there losing a spot as they come out of Forest Elbow.
Justin Wade losing a spot to that little under 2 litre car.
No, it's Jordan Cox. Jordan Cox in the under 2 litre is absolutely driving the wheel nuts off him at the moment.
As you'd expect, just lost the spot though, going down Conrod Straight. Hasn't quite got the speed, and here comes Linton as well. He's going to dart towards the left as they come over the rise on Conrod Straight and through the key. Just gets the job done. There was all a bit of smoke there out the back of Linton's car as he dances it on the way into the chase there, but you can see Cox trying to have a little look to the inside, and he's going to try and protest it as well, but thinks better of it, and Linton holds off that spot for now.
Here we go, our race leader comes through, and it's Ray Hislop out in front. Matt Cherry in second spot in the Holden Monaro. Then we've got Michael Nagib third, survived that first quarter onslaught. Then Bob Brewer. Lee Forrest is still running okay. Then we've got Kerry Wade, Justin Wade, I should say. Then Barry Linton, Cox, of course.
Replay of the start here. Great start for Hislop. Now watch this little dice in between.
Got pushed between Nagib and Cherry. Nagib pushed him into Cherry. So that's what happened there.
Yeah, I thought it might have been Bob Brewer, but he was actually behind him. So apologies there. But yeah, I think he didn't get hit by Nagib. I think he just steered away from him. Didn't realise the Monaro was there. Kerry Wade in the pits with a drama, all the way from Western Australia, of course.
That's one thing you don't want to be doing during the final race of the weekend, heading up pit lane. But it was a good show from Kerry Wade, wasn't it?
A good show this morning too. He finished well inside the top 10.
Now, last year, Kyle Organ Moore, the car that we can see on screen, the big green Commodore there, was running up in the top 2 or top 3 and had some dramas, and has been spent the first race working his way from mid-pack through to 5th place at the end of the first race.
Bob Brewer and Lee Forrest battling it out for position number 4 as they come through McPhillamy Park this time around, and Brewer would have the grunt down the straight, but I dare say that As we
That's
can
a
see,
conventional line for a
Salika
Fleet
will be
Forest.
very quick across the top of the mountain, as we just seen there, and he's probably been held up a little bit. And Wade also, who's done a lot of work on suspension more so than engine performance, in the hope that making their BMW a nicer car to drive, and it seems to be doing the job at the moment.
Now let's watch the power going down Conrod Straight here, because Lee Forest, that car's particularly good across the top of the mountain, but doesn't quite have the legs going down Conrod Straight. And you can see the Commodore now of Brewer just starting to slowly pull away a little bit as they come down the very fast Conrod Straight, the fastest point here in Australia, as they are about to turn it into the right-hander at the kink. And you can see that Forrest has just lost a little bit that margin. Like we mentioned, car's very good across the top, but just lacks going down. But look how good it is under brakes as they come down into Caltech's Chase, into the left-hander. Will take some curb there on the left as well. And this is going to be on by the time they get down to Maguire's Murray's Corner.
220.9.
Oh, this is our leader, Ray Hislop. He's just done a 220.9.
That's blown away his previous lap record, which he set this morning. So,
and open up a 5.2 second lead over Matt Cherry in second place.
Well,
so
Cherry done a 24, so that gives you an idea. 5.2 seconds a gap, and wow.
Wow.
What's that's
all you can say about Ray Hislop in that Falcon at the moment is wow.
Okay, let's talk about last year then, if we're going to talk lap times, because he was pushing in race number 1 here last year. Unfortunately, right where he's going through at the moment, the car stepped out, collected the signage there in the wall on the right-hand side, and the reason for that, he was pushing for a 219, and he's just done a 220. So, all right, so I'm going to put you on the spot here, Gary. Do you reckon he can get anywhere near that?
I think he'll have a go.
He's certainly got to have a go. As long as he doesn't turn it into a boat at some point as well, and puts it into the fence. But he comes across the top through the great section, as we love seeing the cars through that part of the circuit, particularly the 12-hour cars.
Actually, he's gone right off the pace. 56.7. That's still going pretty quick.
That's about three or four tenths slower than what he did last lap.
Yeah, not one of his personal bests.
So he's eased off just a little bit.
Just give the tyres a bit of respite and have another go. But certainly as the most winningest driver in the improved production support races here at Bathurst over the years, and the only times he hasn't been successful is either they've had some engine dramas or he's had that crash. But every other time he started, he's won. Yeah,
last year certainly wasn't a good one for him. Let's have a replay of what happened here. This is at Caltech's Chase. That's car 74.
That'd be Dan Ridley, is it?
Yeah,
it is,
Dan
in the
Ridley.
Commodore. Just having a bit of an off there, and best presented car at the 2014 Improved Production Nationals at Wakefield Park.
Look at the stream of beamers coming across the top of Mount Panorama as well, having a nice little dice in between themselves. A great line of BMWs here this weekend in the improved production cars. We've got a number of them, and they love to support these events all around Australia.
I think most of them are in frame here,
yeah,
aren't
that's
they?
right.
In this frame, of course, we've got Tony Alford in the Donut King car. And just behind car 32 at the moment, which is...
you got Philip Andros as well. Philip Andros, and then Anthony Groves, I think, is in there as well.
Peter Ingram, of course, in the 32 car, just ahead of that lot. So it's a bit of a BMW fest at the moment.
Tony Alford completing this weekend.
David Walden's RX3 there, followed being harassed by Suzuki Swift at the moment.
Love the little Swift, isn't it? Isn't it great to see the Swift getting out there and having a run around Mount Panorama as well? Dare I say that car probably lacks going Conrod Straight as well.
Yeah, of course they, while it's not officially recognised, they are a 1.6 litre entry, so they're in a different class to the 2 litre car. And of course Walden's car is a 2 litre car, where most RX3s are in the 2 to 3 litre category.
Tony Alford on the screen at the moment as well. He's going to be competing tomorrow in the Bathurst 12-hour. Of course, the Mark Cars Australia Donut King entry as well, which has done well so far this weekend, and has competed in that running of the event many times before. As we're watching some battles further on down the screen here at the moment.
Chris Brown, we just noticed, up to position 16 and just behind Ridley on the road, after Ridley had that bit of an off and dropped a couple of spots. So a great drive from Brown from the back of the field. So from P55 to P16 is not a bad effort in what, 3 laps.
We're watching McMaster here, or Macca as he's sometimes known, from Queensland, just at the back of the shot, make up a spot last time at Hell Corner, and now watching a battle into the fantastic Griffiths Bend. Mark Jewell, he going down the inside, and he's got it all crossed up. Sprint car style for Griffiths Bend. Holds on to it, but unfortunately loses a spot there, does Jewell. So just pops back and loses that spot. But he had a little bit of a pucker as he went up through Griffiths Bend. That's high.
Yeah, David Cox in the Commodore. Both both Holdens, of course, from different eras, and they both danced across the crest there at the top of Mountain Straight. So very hard work, and as we're speaking, one of the Cliffs has brought the Commodore into the pits again. They retired from the earlier race. That was car 148, David Cliff.
So Cox now back in front of Jewel here as they come across the top of Mount Panorama through the great section. There's 4 of them now. You can just about throw a blanket over them as they come up to McPhillippi Park. And Jewel a little bit far back than what he wants to at the moment. Big dive there down the inside as one of the Commodores goes very wide across the top of McPhillippi.
87 would be the Barry Smith car. Now 3 Commodores and a Mazda, and the Mazda's just picked one of them off.
They're
very keen to get the other 2 as well.
They're being very gentlemanly as they come down the hill this time.
Look at that lineup of cars. It's
huge. So Cox lead them at the moment. Jill sitting in that second spot of this line of cars. Not second spot on the road, of course, but in this great battle that we're seeing.
We've made this joke before, but it does seem like peak hour on the M7 at the moment.
Yeah, it does. Or William Street here at Bathurst as well from time to time. As they come down Conrod Straight once again. Still, we've got 4 more laps remaining as our leaders pass us here on the front straight, but we continue to watch this great battle, and here comes Jewel now, looking down the inside. Can he get it done by the time they reach the kick? Last time he went down the inside, it was a bit sideways, but hopefully he's not sideways going through the fastest corner in Australia and gets the job done this time by.
Yeah, it will be the first one into the hard braking area at the chase as the RX.
Oh, it's getting nice and tight through the... It's rubbing panels, and it's okay, we'll just keep on going. That's all right.
Welcome to Aussie Racing, to our European fans joining us on the live stream at the moment. We're seeing some great action here at Mount Panorama. Side-by-side action. How do you like it on your Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, the car number 14, the Joseph Lenful RX-7, didn't finish the first race, so it's made a good climb through the field, having to start from the rear of the grid as well. The president of the New South Wales Improved Production Association.
Christopher I was about to say Christopher Brown is making a march forward up into 14th at the moment. So Chris Brown doing a great job there.
So we've got McMaster and Lethal on the screen at the moment, and Lethal's just made that spot, Lenful I should say, around what would be the outside on driver's left. And looking at the lap times here, we're going back to Ray Hislop, still sitting fastest in this race, if you were so supposed to say that, 2:20. So, oh no, we've got drama down here at Griffiths Bend. One car going around and will just collect the tyres there on the left-hand side. But unfortunately, that car number 80 of Groves going around, and fingers crossed he might be able to get that car out of there and do it safely. But very lucky that wasn't actually bigger there and only just glanced the wall there on the barriers, I suppose you would say, there on driver's left.
He's still trying to get it fired up and turned around. Would be virtually no damage to that car, I would imagine. We'll just see now when it comes around.
Can't see too much.
That's about it.
Yeah, probably a tiny little bit on the back wheel arch there, but Stephen Groves does get the car going again, although was running around about 15th, 20th place, and will be dropping down a few spots now.
Hislop's last lap at 20.7, but we get a replay of this incident, and no touch. It's just overcooked it going into the corner, and Groves just bumps into the surround of the tyre barrier.
Tony Alford there, lucky to get away with that one as well, in behind there at that donut kick shot. Great battle continuing on as they come down. Looks like Cox is losing a few spots. If anything, probably going a bit slowly, so there might be dramas there for Cox in the number 28. Hopefully not, though, as they come back down Conrod Straight once again as they continue to slice and dice their way field. But Hislop back out in front, still leading this race by 17 seconds, but it's the battles that we're watching throughout the field.
Yeah, just to give you a rundown where everyone is at the moment. Hislop leads by 17.2 seconds over Cherry. The Gibb in third, then it's Forrest, Brewer, Wade, Linton, Cox, Organ Moore, who's just passed us here at the start-finish line in 9th, and Ingram in the Mazda RX-7 10th. Chris Brown up to 11. One car there going very slowly through Caltech's chase, car number 49, unfortunately.
That's Morgan, Bruce Morgan.
Yeah, so Morgan there, unfortunately, having some mechanical dramas, and will no doubt pull that car back into pit lane as we look at Hislop again, and stuck with a bit of lap traffic in front of him as he gets around, heading down into the Forest Elbow section, but continuing to lead this race. Actually set personal best to the first sector. It's going to be tight to see if he does a personal best to the second sector. Doesn't, though, because he locked up that inside front left heading into Forest Elbow.
And he got held up by the Savage L34 as well, which is reminiscent of the about 1975 Holden Dealer team in its colouring.
You always hold your breath, don't you, when a car goes down the inside. It's the fastest point in Australia through the kick. Hislop, though, doesn't, you would seem, with ease. Of course, it's never easy to race car as he comes through the left hand. Look at all the fantastic stickers, and that's when they ultimately get scrutineered at the start of a weekend. And sometimes a lot of drivers do that to remind them of actually where they've been around the country.
How many race meetings this car's done? It's been all over Australia, racing in from Barbagallo right through to...
Oh, log jam.
Hold your breath.
Wamoli pit straight for Ray Hislop. He actually had to work his way past a Yaris and a Datsun, and he's now stuck behind a Suzuki, but I'm pretty sure he'll go past that quite easily.
The Roadrunner, look at that on the front of the Swift. Don't you love it? The Roadrunner as they come up Mountain Straight. Ball battles continuing here. Looks like Beric Litchard trying to make up a few spots, and you got Cox in that fight as well. So continuing to battle for the under 2 litre class as well as they come down Conrod Straight.
That's the fight for position 5. So at the moment it involves Brewer, Linton, Cox and Wade.
And unfortunately, Jordan Cox has gone from 5th back to 7th in that just one stretch of Conrod Straight. But I'm sure as they head back up the mountain and or back over the top, he'd make up a few more spots. And that's the thing about this improved production class or the cars in there. Some cars are suited to different parts of the track.
Well, we've got so many different engine type of configurations. We've got V8s, we've got rotaries, we've got 6-cylinder cars, we've got 4-cylinder cars, some with turbos on them as well. So there's a whole gamut of different types of powertrains and different sorts of shapes and sizes and makes.
Brewer that time by going into Hell Corner had it all locked up in the rear end, and that was even sideways going out of Hell Corner as we've got Cox there. I should say Wade getting past Jordan Cox heading up Mountain Straight. Keeping in mind though, Jordan Cox in that number 3, he is in different classes. Kyle Organ-Morg now makes up a spot as well, so he's got to keep that in the back of his mind, and he's actually leading the under 2 litre class at the moment.
Yeah, and his nearest rival should be Scott Hunter, who's 14th at the moment, and as we've just seen, we've had Cox bump back to position 9, and I dare say Chris Brown won't be far out of this battle as well.
Yeah, Chris Brown has had a great race, hasn't he, in the Toyota 86, coming from essentially the rear of the grid, and he's now sitting in 10th place at the moment, and he's got Jordan Cox. Oh, sorry, I just saw the Suzuki getting up on 2 wheels coming out of Murray's corner.
My favourite Suzuki, don't do it. Don't do it in these final stages. They've got 1.5 laps to go as they come across the top of Mount Panorama once again, and great to see, as I mentioned at the top, so many spectators here this weekend enjoying some great action. As you can see at the moment, Improved Productions as Linton trying to look at a precarious spot as they come down the S's once again and down into the dipper. This is going to get interesting, Gary. We've got to hold our breaths here for the moment.
He must have been watching Shane Van Gisbergen
Yes.
for the last couple of years in the 12 hours. Some of the stunts trying to pull off there, but yeah, not a wise move in a BMW 1M to take them on. But certainly the 2 BMWs giving that Colton Commodore some very big hurry up wherever they can. But well, of course, they get to the straight.
It's our leader. It's the race leader, Ray Hislop. And he's hit the 99 car, or something has happened there.
That looks like it's at the chase there, by my mind, cooking.
It is, yep. Going into the chase rather than out of the chase.
So that's a big one there at the Caltex chase, and yeah, let's hope that both drivers are A-OK in that instant. But you can see the tyre tracks. Kyle Organ-Morg there, unfortunately, slowing as well with some dramas. Got one driver out by the looks, and that's a sad side as well. So unfortunately, it looks like big mechanical dramas there for Kyle Organ-Morg as he brings that car off towards the exit of the racetrack at the Caltex chase.
It seems to be happening now, because at Maguire's Murray's corner, we've also got
Brewer's gone around.
Brewer just spun around as well. So, but the person we're seeing on screen, Matt Cherry, is the leader of the race.
And looks like he'll do what he did last year, win the last race for the Donut King Improved Production cars this weekend at Bathurst.
Unfortunately, though, as I'm sure you boys would agree, not the way that he would have wanted to have done it, though, as he comes across the top of Mount Panorama on some slower cars again, but nicely just tries to get by them, and now across McPhilby Park, and just dances it across, gets the ripple strip nicely on the left-hand side, and will fly it back down the S's for what will be the final time.
Well, it's certainly a change, and he hasn't got his usual protagonist in Lee Forrest anywhere near him at the moment, so he won't want a safety car, because that's how Lee Forrest came back into the race last year. And certainly they look at this stage, they're not going to worry about one, but it's traffic congestion central here at down the bottom of the mountain. It's lots of cars vying for position still.
I was going to say, this is the BMW class, isn't it? Because that's all we've seen going past us for the last 20 seconds. But how about this? Matt Cherry from Western Australia brought the car out, and it's almost a carbon copy as to what happened last year.
Basically, yeah.
One of the other times he was leading, boys, 12 months ago in race number 1, he had the thing all sideways at Maguire's Murray's corner that time when he had Lee Forrest right behind him. So fingers crossed he doesn't get it too sideways this time by, but he's got a comfortable margin as he comes through Caltex Chase and down into Maguire's Murray's corner for the final time.
Congrats. We're going to have a fair while cleaning up after this one.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a number of tow trucks out, particularly around the chase, because there's about 4 cars there at the moment. Matt Cherry, well done. Checkered flag, taking out race 2 of the improved production, and in second place, it's going to be Michael Nagib. We hardly saw Michael throughout the entire race, apart from an interesting scuffle with Lee Forrest at the very beginning of the race.
Yeah, well, he was 17 seconds behind at the last count. Comes across the line now in second spot from South Australia in that Datsun 1600 Turbo.
And Lee Forrest in third.
A rather battered-looking Toyota Sleeker comes across the line in third spot. He'll be wrapped in that result.
Speaking of wrapped, did you see the give that? He was given the old fist pump as he went down into Hell Corner, so he's a very happy man. And more spots being made as they come down into Maguire's Murray's corner. Wade there getting underneath and making up a spot right at the finish line.
Beric Lytton gets across the line, just ahead of Justin Wade, and Chris Brown was right there too. He only needed another lap or so.
Now let's have a look at what's happened here to card. Oh, this is the Tirana. He's
Mark
done.
Jewell.
We've seen many V8 supercars in the past do that, but he's actually kept on going.
Not the first time Jewell's been sideways actually in this race, but I've got to say, that's a tremendous save as he went across the top. We've got one car smoking big time now going across the top at McPhillippi Park, the 141 machine, which we will find that is David Worrell, unfortunately having some dramas there as he goes down
and
into the S's.
Carrying a Holden dealer team lookalike livery as well.
Now, guys, is that a terminal or is that a tyre?
No, that's certainly terminal, that one.
Okay,
that
because
doesn't look like tyre smoke to me.
No, that's a lot more than tyre smoke, that one.
so the officials will be looking at that to see if he's dropping a trail as he heads down the mountain.
Look at the cars as they come back down for the final time
It's
as
just
well.
a gaggle here. Look at this, all the BMWs all coming together at one.
Oh, don't do it.
Don't do it. Behave, guys. Okay. They made it through. Tony Alford, one of them.
3 wide as they come across the line.
How good is this class?
I feel like we're at Daytona with the bump drafting. There's another car stopped up there as well.
Another BMW. There was lots of them. I think they were numerically the superior brand for this meeting, just ahead of Holden, but Holden has won the race.
Look at the walking wounded, just that shot just there we saw. We've got the smoking Commodore coming down into Caltex Chase. We've got the 59 car of Butcher. You've got Ray Hislop. You've got the 99 Mazda RX-7. And then you've got the Commodore just around the corner of Kyle Organ Moore.
But at least we're going to talk about the 141 of Worrell, who's going to come across the line, actually finish the race. So give him a big round of applause if you're off there at Maguire's Murray's corner. He will get to the finish line, albeit smoking in the rear end, but he gets the job done nonetheless.
That's a big oil patch on the back of his car at the moment.
That's a fair barbecue, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon. I don't know if the snags would taste very good, though, on the back of that one.
It'd be a bit oily.
Exactly.
You had to go there, didn't you? Oh, he's gotten the car going again. This is Andros.
Maybe we're not finished the race just yet.
And I noticed
He's
he's
like,
got
well,
a
if
for sale sign on it as well.
He's basically said, if that guy can finish the race, then so can I.
That's quite
Very
a bit
sad
of damage
sight.
on that RX-7 there, the car 99 car of
Rolf
Ralph
Marmers, yeah.
Fair bit of damage. You can see the right-hand side rear door of Hislop as well. You can just see it just poked up a little bit as well. So, yeah, very sad sight for Hislop as he runs back to his car. Great to see that both drivers were out of their cars as well. And here we go. We can actually see a replay of the incident here between Hislop. And let's wait and see if we can see anything. Now, there's a car off there. Now, yeah, we'll wait to see towards the back end of this one. You just see a plume of dust there. So, I mean, we could speculate here all day as to what it might have been there, the cause. But, yeah, interesting one. But congratulations once again, Matt Cherry taking the win, boys. And he's broken the streak this weekend, Gary, of one Ray Hislop.
Yeah, well, we put the mocker on him, and haven't we? And, of course, Stanislaus College there in the background as we wrap up the improved production from 2016.